Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show in advance of returning from the bye week to take on the Seattle Seahawks from the New York Jets, one of the best receivers in the game. He is Garrett Wilson, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, courtesy of Dr. Teal. It's good to see you, Garrett Wilson. How are you?
See you, man. I'm doing well. Doing well.
And now, let me ask you this question. I understand that you're selling Dr. Teal's, or you're helping with their product and things of that nature. But did you want to come on the show this week because you know it's the big game this week and you're feeling good about your chances, Garrett? Is that why you're coming on the show? Let's be honest. Straight.
Something like that. No, I ain't gonna fake it. I feel good about this week, and anytime I get a chance to talk to you, man, I'm not against it. So, that's how.
But it just feels like the timing's right. You know, it just feels like the timing is specific for you because the last couple years, I don't know if you've been on the show the last couple years. It's been a minute.
Might have been since draft year, rookie year, man.
Yeah, I know. And then you win Rookie of the Year, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and you're balling out. You're performing real well. I just find it really interesting that this is the week. You're saying, all right, I'll do it. You know?
Like I said, man, I never mind. They never. I don't know, man. You ain't hit no one up trying to talk to me. That's what it seemed like.
Okay. No, I've been eager to talk to you. That is for sure. How would you rate your year so far, Garrett?
Not high, man. Not high. It's been a tough go. And obviously we had a lot of expectations coming into the season, and we haven't, been able to hit them. We haven't made right on them. We haven't put ourselves in a good position to go out and get them later in this season. And, that's what this thing's all about, winning games, and we haven't done that. So the one thing I find beauty in that is that, come back from the bye, I got 6 weeks to go make right on this and kind of dig ourselves out of this hole. And I know that's how a lot of the guys on the team feel.
Well, let's talk about your quarterback, if you don't mind here, Garrett, since that's obviously a quarterback-driven league, and you got a very famous one who's going to the Hall of Fame and everybody loves talking about. What is your relationship? How would you categorize your relationship with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett?
Yeah, man, we have a good relationship. It's one that started 2 years ago, and obviously I was as pumped as anyone to be able to get to know him and play football with him. And it's been awesome, man, regardless of the record this year and how things may have went last year. It's really been awesome to get to know him. And he's someone that I learned a lot from. And throughout the rest of my career, I'll refer back to and hopefully someone that I'll, be able to text for the rest of my life and while I'm going through these things, because, he's seen a lot, he's been through a lot, and us going through this together as far as this season and how things have went. I think it's maybe strengthened our relationship a little bit. When things are going right, when you're 10-0, 8-2, all of a sudden everyone's happy, but you really got to dig deep in times like this. And he's someone that gets that. So having him has been really cool.
What have you learned from him? You said you learned a lot from him. What can you throw out on the table for my listeners and viewers to gather on that?
Yeah, just the way to approach the week, man. I would say that's the main thing. When you play 20 years like him and play until you're 40, stuff like that doesn't happen by accident. And he's still playing at a high level. He's still someone that can put the ball all over the field, and just the different get back techniques that he uses as far as his recovery, the way he goes about his preparation, his film study, the way he sees the game. It's all things regarding that, because cerebral guys like that are, just not common. And to have someone to his stature, to his level of it is, for me to not be a sponge when I'm around him would be wrong.
Well, his leadership qualities have been definitely called into question. I'm sure you're aware of what people say in our world. How would you describe his leadership abilities on this team, Garrett?
Yeah, I would describe him. I mean, everyone's got their own way of going about it. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to go about being a leader. But the reality of it is, when you're as good as him and play at as high of a level and have that aura about you, I guess is the word. And when you walk in the room, people notice. It's kind of put upon you to be a leader. And some people have a way they think that should look, but Aaron's just got his own way about it, man. He's really, and I think it's a good way. Personally, everyone's got their own opinion, and that's just the world we live in. But Yeah, especially during times like this, and just seeing him go about the way he hasn't wavered at all in his prep and the way um he practices and the way he coaches during the meeting room, which says a lot about someone when things aren't going right. All of a sudden people may quiet up, may turtle up because things aren't going right, and then all of a sudden they don't see the need to maybe speak on a talking point, but that's not him at all. So um it's been really cool, and I've been around multiple quarterbacks, multiple different versions of leaders, ones that are soft spoken, speak a lot, and I truly believe that there's not a right way to go about it, just a way, just your way. And I think he's, especially when knowing him, getting to know him over these last 2 years, that's something he really exemplifies.
And how has it been for you to be in the same receiver room as another Hall of Famer and Davante Adams, Garrett?
It's been awesome, been awesome. Just first of all, he's just a great dude, and the way he came in and interacted with all of us was really cool. But starting first week, he wasn't he spied something out that he didn't like, and instead of maybe thinking it's not his turn to speak on it yet, he's too new here, he spoke on it. So just the level of respect that I have for something like that. We have a lot of conversations just about different things regarding life, regarding football, and all of them are valuable. All of them are valuable for me. So, and then not to mention just stealing his releases, seeing how he goes about practice and stuff like that, man. I mean, no one can guard that dude, and it's been really cool to get to know him over these last. I guess it's only been a month or so, but we knew each other a little before that, and he's been everything and more.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me that it's all set up, you know. And it just seemed to me that it was all set up at the beginning of the year, Garrett. And it seems to me that it is all set up, but things are just not clicking. And I know you're not used to that from college. That's for sure. And I know you coming in was supposed to be part of a culture change, and that the fact that it hasn't really happened on the wins and losses doesn't mean that it hasn't. But how are you handling all this? How are you personally, professionally handling what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, and like you said, I came in bright-eyed, ready to go, and thinking that because they drafted me, Sauce, and Brees and Jermaine and all these guys, and the previous year they had done it, it was just going to happen naturally. But the reality of it is it's hard, man, and we got to find a way to win games. At the end of the day, that's the ultimate culture changer, and some people might say it's the other way around. It might be. I still haven't figured out exactly. I kind of inherited a great culture when I chose my school for college. Um, I chose when I chose where to go to high school, so it's just different when you're in the league. All of a sudden you get drafted somewhere, and you got to find a way to leave your imprint and go about things the way you think they should. But um, it hasn't turned out. It hasn't been exactly what I expected. And the way I see that is there's still a lot of mountains to climb. I can still um, I don't know, man. I just got to approach it with a pro level approach because I am a professional in this. This is my job, and every time I take that field, I'm blessed to do so, and I gotta make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, playing good football. So um, that's the mindset. That's the approach. Regardless of what the result may be or what it's been so far. I always want to make sure that when I turn my film on and when I'm watching myself, that I'm proud of the product I put out there, and that's not going to stop.
Garrett Wilson, few minutes left with him here. We'll talk about Dr. Teal's in 1 second, but I got to ask you about that catch, man, against the Texans. Walk me through this moment from huddle to that on the screen.
I mean,
right there.
third and long, you kind of have calls where you're like, oh, we're conceding here. We're just going to take three, or we're just going to try and get some field position to punt. But we caught all goes. So right away, the mindset is like, oh, it's going to go up, and if it comes my way, I got to make the play. The dude was bailing, and I didn't know if Aaron was going to throw it or not. Sometimes when you're as smart as him and as cerebral, and see the game in the way he does, you see a guy bailing and you got a guy on the go, you're not going to throw that, but he threw it up. So just go make the play. That's really what it comes down to, and I'm glad it counted, man. I'm glad they got my shin down in there, and yeah, it was a cool play, man. Anything to help the team win. And I think, making that play right there, had a result in us or, had an impact on us winning that game. So it was cool, man. It was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, in watching it back, what do you think when you see it back, when we're talking about it? Like when you see it?
I mean, it's cool, bro. Like, it's like the Jordan logo. I see people saying that, and it kind of does look like that in my own little version. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I did it.
There it is, right there. Now the issue is though did you speak to your Adidas people about this? Like Garrett, that's
you're hilarious. Nah, there's nothing to be said, man. They know I rock with the Adidas forever, man.
I know that.
2-3 years ago, and it's been the best decision, one of the best decisions I've made in talking with them. So there wasn't really much to say. They sent me one thing to put up on my social media because people were kind of interpreting certain things or thinking different things. But besides that, man, there was nothing to say. So I'm sure we'll talk maybe this offseason. They know it's been a tough season for us, and they probably stayed away a little bit for that reason. They just know how I can get. But at the end of the day, three-stripe life, man. That's all I know.
I love it. Garrett Wilson here. So tell me about Dr. Teal's and what you want people to know about and what it does for you, Garrett.
Dr. Teal's is an amazing recovery tool and something that I've been using for a long time, almost 10 years at this point. It all started with my mom, and her using it religiously to get in her right mind state. I never really knew when I was younger, but all of a sudden I, got in middle school. I was playing quarterback at the time, and I took some hits. And all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what, Mom? Let me try some of that salt you usually use. So she gave me some of hers, and from really that point on, it's been a part of my routine at least once a week. It's something that I do when I get in the bath, get the lavender, make sure my body's right, and it's like taking a nap for your muscles. It just relaxes you, gets you in that perfect mind state, which is really important when you play a game like this and all the stresses that can come with it. So I'm just blessed to be working with them because, like I said, I've been using it for a long time, and it's like it came full circle working with them because it's something that long before I would even know I would be working with Dr. Teal's, I was using and really appreciating.
And again, it delivers wellness products with magnesium, essential oils, provide the proven benefits for somebody like Garrett Wilson. Maybe you can jump like him. Before I let you go, how good is this kid Jeremiah Smith that everybody talks about in Columbus, Garrett?
Yeah, man, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. He made a couple catches this weekend against Indiana where I was just like, wow, man, that dude's 18 years old. That's ridiculous.
It is crazy. He's 18.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
The way he's just a big, strapping dude. And I've heard his work ethic and just his the way he carries himself on a daily basis through in and out the facility and his classes is really impressive as well. So being there, being a student at Ohio State and someone that came in early, I know, how hard it can be and some of the things that come with it. And it seems like he's handling them all the right way. And, obviously with that, he's playing great football, which I appreciate. And he's helping the Buckeyes win games. But, man, he's got a chance to be one of the greats. And I'm excited to watch his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the latest in a long line that you're part of. And, I mean, you saw McLaurin come up with that play that damn near pulled it out for the Commanders. My God, what a run that was. And obviously you're doing what you're doing right now. Are you nervous for this weekend at all, Garrett?
No, nervous isn't the right word. I'm past that now. That was more of my rookie year. I would get nervous.
No. I'm not talking about Seattle.
Oh, you know what? You're talking about the Michigan game, huh?
Yeah.
Team up north. I'm tripping. I ain't nervous. I ain't nervous about that one either. I wasn't even nervous the year we ended up going out there and not playing well. We lost.
Right. Okay.
We prepped for it for so long that it's like, all right, this is time. We finally get to stop hearing that annoying song that they play during Team Up North period.
Annoying song. My goodness. Wow. Oh yeah, like your song doesn't get played every 2 seconds for a first down either. Come on, Garrett. Come on, we all have our songs.
It'll be a long day for you on Saturday, Rich. I'm sorry.
You know what? It's okay. I wear the armor of the last 3 years, and all I got to tell you, Garrett, is if the result you're talking about does in fact occur, just go ahead and win it because, somebody's got to win it for the Big Ten like we did last year. So you got to finish. You got to finish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man. You're right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I hope they get it done. I get what you're saying, and I know you're feeling good about last year. But
very much so. Yeah.
you're gonna have to enjoy that one for a while because it's going to be the Buckeyes for the next 10, 15.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good to know. But it's kind of crazy because I did see on Twitter during the Texas game because I'm a fan of yours, Garrett. I did see just two very simple words. The word is, and I'll Michigan ass is what it is, right? Is that what you were feeling about at the time, or you were just for crying emojis? Was that during the Texas game?
There's not a lot of there's not a lot of love for them. Texas is a school that I know a lot of guys that I was from that area.
Okay.
They were doing what they were supposed to do, and at the time, we didn't know Michigan was going to turn out the way they did. But after watching that game, I had an idea.
I deserve it.
Sorry about that tweet.
I deserve all of this, Garrett, because if I'm not mistaken, during your draft conversation, you were kind enough to call into the show. Then I called myself your daddy, I think.
Well, you sure did. I remember that.
No, I deserve that, but I'm glad I'm talking to you now than maybe sometime next week. But we shall see. Just go finish up strong with your collegiate team, and I, as you know, only wish you the best of luck on the pro field. So it's good to chat with you.
You as well, man. You take care, and I appreciate you having me on.
Always, you bet, always, man. And I look forward to seeing more good stuff out of you, certainly in the next 6 weeks and beyond. Garrett Wilson, I appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, man.
You got it. Courtesy of Dr. Teal's Garrett Wilson, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.